All right, so I just got back from a ride that was probably my third or fourth ride overall, figuring things out, learning things, and making some adjustments. But I figured I'd give you guys an update. Some people commented and asked for specific things. I am personally going to steer clear of. I have no need to remove the battery personally. So I'm probably not going to do that. I've seen some people say that that caused issues, or there's some connections that have to be made that can be done incorrectly and then cause it not to get out of park. And I saw people having issues. I have a way to plug it in the garage. I probably won't take off the battery unless I absolutely need to. So I don't even plan on messing with any of that at the moment. Somebody asked to see under the battery. I can show that as best as I can. It's very well. It's super clean and well done. Yeah, so under there, this is one thing I did notice. This is the horn, and it makes contact with this fender when the wheel is turned all the way. I don't know if that's a defect or if that's part of design, or I can see you see that it actually moves. I imagine that that's not correct. So I'm gonna either bend this in myself or message them and ask them what the deal is with that. The horn works super loud. Couple things. Oh, somebody was asking about the charger. Yes, the charger is built in to the battery pack, but the charging cable comes with two of them. I'll show you that in a second. This is the 110 version, just because I don't have an active. I do have a 220 over there, but that's already going between two vehicles. So I'm not going to use that for this, especially because it's only about an hour difference, assuming you're charging from 0 to 100, which will probably never be happening. So the 110 is going to be fine. It just comes with this cable. I will say the cable's pretty short. It's probably 6 feet at most. So keep that in mind, unless you want to run an extension cord or something. It came in this bag, which was taped to the bike like this when it was delivered. And it actually says, it's hard to see when you get it in the light. It says Launch Edition Anthem. And it comes with basically the cable that you see here and the one that I opened first. Try to do this with one hand. The 220 version of the same thing. So that's nice that they give you both of those. So you have both options coming with the bike included. I find that to be increasingly rare in the EV world. Teslas and other EVs do not even come with chargers anymore. Someone asked about mounting points. There are plenty of things to mount, areas here to mount if you wanted cameras or things. There's room to do it for sure. Trying to see if there's anything on the front. I'm probably not there, but plenty of room on the bars to mount things for cameras. You also have spots here if you're not utilizing that with other things. Couple things I noticed. Some of you may know in eco mode, regen braking is automatic. So as soon as you roll off the throttle, the bike is slowing down and you're getting power back into the battery that way. In sport mode, that is not the case. So there is this regen button here, and I knew about this. I knew that it was there, but I was curious as to how it worked. No one really mentioned it. I didn't know if it was sensitive, if it works the same as a brake. Meaning, can you ease on and ease off and control how much regen is there? Do you hold it the whole time? Do you toggle regen on and off in sport mode? So it works it's weird. It works like a brake, but meaning you have to hold it the entire time you want regen to be working. You don't just press it and say, yes, now I'm toggling regen on. You have to hold it when you want to slow down in sport mode. But it seems to only be an active on-off. So you cannot ease into regen and apply how much you want and come to a full stop. It's as soon as you touch it, it's like a harsh pull, and then when you let off, it's a harsh unpull. Unpull is not a word. It's a harsh back to normal coasting. So it's a little bit finicky. It's also weird to use in conjunction with the actual brakes. So I'm used to riding regular motorcycles where you're using rear and front. You can obviously still do that here. But if you want to capture energy back into the battery and when you're in sport mode and use regen, you can do that. But I would only recommend, based on, at least if you're at all a new rider or if you're trying to get used to this, I would only use that if you're like coming up to a red light and you see that it's turning yellow and you know that you're just going to be on a straightaway and you don't have to worry about anything. Hold that down until you can come as close to a stop as it'll get you. But it's very awkward to try to use that while riding and doing turns and things because of the way that it's just like, it's just constantly pulling you on like that. You can't ease into it. So it gets weird, and then you also will have to, it won't take you to a complete stop quickly enough in most cases. So you'll still have to use regular brakes, and it's weird to let go of that and then go speed up and then hit the other brake and slow back down. So it's a little awkward. It's cool that they give you the option. I kind of wish it was a toggle. I wish you could say, yes, I do want to use regen in sport mode on or not, and then it would work the same way in both modes. That's not the case. That's something I didn't know till I rode myself and no one addressed, so I figured that may help some people. Some people probably know. Let's see if I can get this to work. So the first day, I had the key in here and everything was working great, but I plugged it in. You can see if I put this in my pocket and I'm plugged in, it's probably going to work now. Okay, it works. That doesn't always work. Sometimes the key has to be very close to this center area here in order for the bike to power on. So the entire first time I charged the thing, I did not know what my charge status was because it does not show. If the bike is off and you plug it in, there's no indicator anywhere of what's happening and what your status is and what percentage you're at. So now this is I'm actually looking at this the first time with you guys. Apparently it just goes all the way to 100 but shows you the percentage you're at. And some people said that it's fine to leave the bike on while charging. I am not going to do that. I'll probably just periodically check on it or learn how long it takes over time and then plug it in for a little bit and unplug it. I'm not going to go to 100 all the time. A little trick. It's at dark out now, so some people probably know if you really look at, if you hold this settings button, it switches between the day and night mode on the screen. I was just riding and it's dark out and this was kind of blinding, so that was good to switch into the other mode. Another weird thing that it doesn't do it automatically with sensors. When the sun goes down, it switches on most bikes. This one, you have to manually do that. I won't be riding a ton at night. There was something else I wanted to mention. The space in here is not really big enough for most things. I'm holding my phone so I can't show you, but I can't really fit the phone in here. And it's got something to charge a phone and all that. But unless you have a small phone or an older phone or a tiny version, I can't, because of this hump and the way that it is, I can't get the phone to lay in there in a way that is not sticking into this and forcing it up and potentially going to do damage to that latch. People asked about height. I'm 6'4", and I actually, lifting the seat all the way up is a little bit too high for me, actually. So I'm not all the way down. I'm about halfway in the middle, and I found that to be the most comfortable. It's a cool feeling to switch it while you're riding because you don't feel yourself going up and down. What you feel is your feet, the position of your leg when it's on here, you feel that spreading out mostly is what you feel. Which is cool because being 6'4", I have long legs. So when it was all the way down, the first time I was riding it, when I pressed the button and activated it, it like spread my legs out, and that that was a weird sensation. And I realized, and maybe I don't like it all the way up because it was the 4 inches of travel is a lot. It's a big difference to go from one extreme to the other, even though it doesn't sound like it, it is. And when I was riding with it all the way down, I wasn't uncomfortable. When I put it all the way up, I just felt very up high and stiff. The suspension is stiff. I felt a little bit higher than I wanted to feel. It was weird with the mirrors and things. So I lowered it back down probably 2 inches. So I'm probably sitting right in the middle. A couple other things I learned. The Ryvid team was nice in answering some things. You probably read some of the comments. Peak power is 74 amps in eco mode, which limits your top speed pretty significantly, which I wasn't expecting. Not the end of the world, but I weigh about 195 pounds, 190 pounds, depending on the day, and I can only hit about 47 miles an hour in eco mode. So if I'm just going to be on some back roads and things, sure, leave it in eco, leave regen on by default and all that, but any kind of major road or regular highway or even, not even freeway. Most roads are 55 around here. I can't hit that in eco, so I'm gonna be in sport most of the time, which I did not anticipate being the case, which is why this is becoming more of a focal point of the video, because I was testing that out a lot today because I like the regen and would like to capture energy back in, but it's a little weird to use that. High beam is there. The reverse is kind of cool. These are not auto cancel, so they stay in position when you ride, so you have to remember to bring that back. I have not tested cruise control as of yet. I will, and I will. I mean, that seems probably not too many questions on how that works. It's really comfortable and it feels really well made. Everything feels, nothing is shaky or clinky or loose feeling or makes any noise. It's pretty much silent. You don't hear anything except the disc. I can hear this when I'm going at low speeds. If you've ever ridden any electric bike or anything, you'll know what I mean there. That's pretty much it. If you guys have other questions you want to ask, or if I'm forgetting something, let me know. Overall, super pleased with it. The build quality is the most impressive thing, and the look. I've already got a few comments on it, people asking me about it. Expect that. I'm wearing some Ryvid swag that I got from the guys there, so I tell everybody to go to the website and check it out and look at it. A lot of people impressed with the look of it. Yeah, there will be more stuff that I will talk about as I experience more with it. But so far, it's been enjoyable. I've been liking to ride it out. When it gets warm, that will happen a lot more. It's about 59 degrees right now, so at 20 miles an hour, it's feeling like it's in the 30s, and my hands are getting numb. So next week is supposed to have a couple more warm days, and I will do some more extensive riding and report back and answer questions as usual. Appreciate it, guys. Good luck getting yours.